For those of you who don't know, I'm currently participating in National Novel Writing Month, and a couple of people have commented on a few of my videos asking me why I prefer using the Enneagram personality test in order to create my characters and sort of build my character personality. And so I thought I would make a whole separate video on that. One, to kind of encourage other people, if you are in the writing process of outlining and creating characters, to use this sort of method, and two, because I'm just a little obsessed with it at the moment and I just want to talk about it. First up, I found out about the Enneagram at the start of the year, and I've always been someone who loved personality tests and horoscopes, like even those like fun BuzzFeed ones I've loved, but I've never really fully connected or related to anything that people have told me that I was. So for example, I'm a Gemini because I was born you know, within the Gemini star sign thing, but I've never connected with any of the traits that Geminis are supposed to have. I'm also an INFP or J, I think it just depends whenever I'm taking it, on the Myers-Briggs test thing, and although I did really like that one and I did see some basic traits that I related to, like me being an introvert and all that stuff, I never felt like it fully understood me or described me. That is until I found out about the Enneagram. Now, I am a type 9 on the Enneagram with a wing 8. So the thing with the Enneagram is it focuses a lot on your basic fear and your basic desire, which I think is super important when you're creating a character for a story. The Enneagram also focuses a lot on how you interact with the world and how you handle certain situations. And the other thing that I really like about it is it tells you that your strength can also be your weakness. So for example, I'm going to keep using myself as an example throughout this video. So for example, the type 9's desire, I guess, is for peace and harmony, whether that be external or internal, which actually makes me generally optimistic. But when I'm at my unhealthiest, that need for peace turns into avoidance. And if I'm not getting that peace that I think will make me happy, I tend to withdraw within myself and avoid everything. And I'm not saying just conflict with other people, I'm talking conflict within myself, which is where the suppressing all emotion comes in, all negative emotion, not just negative, I guess, like positive too, because I want everything to just kind of be really chill. And so I turn into, if I'm like really unhealthy, the 9s tend to sort of become catatonic because they're like, everything's going wrong and I don't want to deal with anything, so they try and kind of find certain ways to distract themselves in order to avoid whatever it is they need to actually deal with, which kind of goes into the fact that a lot of type 9s are obsessive, forgetful, passive-aggressive, unassertive. I think those are kind of me at my unhealthiest. The other thing that the Enneagram focuses on, which I guess I've already sort of touched on this, but it's motivation. Motivation behind the things that you do. And I really like seeing that being discussed because I think a lot of people do sort of the same things, it's just different motivations. So for example, being a type 9 again, I always thought that I was flexible. But it says I tend to not be flexible because I don't want to disturb the peace. But the reason I seem flexible to a lot of people is because I don't want to disturb the peace. So I go along with the flow. Not because I want to people please, but because I just don't want any conflict. So those are kind of the basic things that the Enneagram focuses on, and why I think this is perfect for character building in your story is because stories have conflict, and character conflict is just as important as plot conflict to move your story along. Now, I've been following John Truby's writing manual this month very, very closely, but you don't have to, this isn't just like his tip. A lot of other writing tips that you've seen have all told us as writers to figure out our character need, our character weakness, and our character desire at the start of the story in order to drive the story forward. And I think by using the Enneagram, it's a lot easier to see those core motivations and fears and desires. So I know I've highlighted the unhealthy side of a type, and the Enneagram is really good because it focuses a lot on not just the unhealthy side, but like what this type is like when they're at their most healthiest and their average. And to be completely honest, that's how I've been creating my character. I go from the unhealthy to the healthy because I'm not necessarily creating a hero, and so I want to see what my characters are like at their worst and how they handle conflict. For example, the story that I'm working on is a lot to do with internal conflict. Now, there are external conflicts that's going to happen as the story goes on, but for the most part, it's about my main character. And my main character I have created to be a type 4, and at their worst, type 4s are very stubborn, they're very moody, they're very disingenuous, and kind of victimizes themselves a lot. And I really liked that about the type 4, especially as a main character, because I want to see how that can be interwoven with the conflict that I want to happen in my story. Now, if you go way deeper into this, there are a lot of things to do with core beliefs, and there's also wings that you can get as well. There's a reason why I'm a type 9 wing 8 and not a type 9 wing 1. And there's a lot to do with kind of childhood messages and all of that stuff, but I'm not going to go into those because I don't want to bore you. But yeah, I think using this particular method has really helped me get to know my characters, because for me personally, I've never been a fan of character sheets because I would fill them out and then halfway through it I would kind of accidentally insert myself, and so a lot of my previous characters were just kind of different versions of me, and I didn't want to do that. I hope this was helpful in some way. I hope you guys try it out and let me know what Enneagram type you are down in the comments below. But I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you soon.